So the last time you saw my E30 325IX, I converted it from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive so I could do some drifting, except it still kind of sucks at drifting for a few reasons. It has less steering angle than a normal E30, the limited slip differential might as well be an open diff, the driver's seat is falling out, the whole car basically sucks, and I need to do a lot to it before it can actually drift well. So with our knuckles out, this is our steering knuckle here. We have quite a bit we can remove, maybe about an inch, a little less. The key here is going to be getting them both the same. It's not the end of the world if they're not exactly the same, but we want them close. So why am I shortening my steering knuckles? So over here on the left, we got some long steering knuckles you would see on like a stock car. And when the rack moves, the wheels don't turn all that far. Over here on the right, we got some shortened steering knuckles. The rack moves the same amount, but the wheels turn a lot more. The geometry changes. I'm not a physiologist. I don't know how else to explain it apart from this. There's more stuff like Ackerman, but yeah, we don't need to talk about that. I just want more steering angle. All right, so I made 1-inch scribe marks in the same places on each one. An inch is gonna be just fine. That's about the maximum we can cut. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut these very expensive and somewhat rare knuckles with an angle grinder. No going back now. These are actually cast steel instead of cast iron, which is good for me because that is easier to weld. So I'm gonna bevel this on either side so I can really get some weld in there, make it stronger. Hey, my torch is getting too hot. I gotta stop for a minute. But so far, it's welding pretty good. Looks pretty damn nice, if I do say so myself. Got the plastic tote sitting on there. Gonna let it cool a little bit slower, as you really don't want this cast stuff to cool too fast or it cracks. So this weld is plenty strong. It's not going anywhere. However, I want to make sure it really never goes anywhere. This is way overkill, but the fact that it's overkill makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Alright, I got some wheel spacers to try to fix my whole wheel rubbing issues. These are H&Rs. It wasn't hard to find good ones for an E30, so go ahead and throw these on. Not bad. The spacers work perfect. We're not hitting the sway bar anymore. We're not hitting the wheel well. We're hitting this plastic nut thing, but I can just remove that. It's not a big deal, so. My drain plug stripped, so that's cool. Yeah, that's totally not gonna get everywhere. Take this one out. It'll help, maybe. Ah, there we go. So here's the differential. So I need to get into these tight spaces and weld this stuff, and there's oil all over everything, which is where these come in. 6011 or 6010 stick rods, commonly referred to as farmer's rods. These don't care how dirty the metal is, they'll weld anyway. And being a stick welding rod, I can really get in there, get good welds in those tight spaces. So these are gonna work perfect. So basically what I did was make sure that every single gear I saw in there was turned into liquid. So yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. So after welding, this thing has all this welding slag in it, and we can't put it together with that crap in there, and it's gonna take me forever to clean it out. So I'm about to do something controversial. So basically now what I'm doing is I'm gonna dry it out and then slather it in oil so it doesn't rust. A little bit of a Craigslist rebuild never killed anybody, except for when it has. So with this differential, I flushed it out really good, but I'm sure there's still some metal in there, so I stuck a really strong magnet to the end of the drain plug, and hopefully that will catch any floaties. You're not really supposed to use impacts on axle nuts, but this one's so rusty, it doesn't really give me a choice. So I'm gonna put this rag over my socket in an attempt to not mess up the nut. We didn't hurt the nut too bad. It's kind of marred, but it could have been worse. So the reason I took my axles out is the boots are, well, they're shot. These Chinese axles I bought for $100 to cut the ends off to hold my front wheel bearings on. The boots on these look like they'll work. So might as well just get my money's worth and use these. This grease is actually still greasing pretty good. So the boots from the Chinese axles fit perfect. No problems there. They're all nice and re-greased. They make special CV boot grease. I just use the synthetic moly grease because, I don't know, I wanted to. Grease is grease! So I'm still waiting on parts. I'm trying to find stuff on this list that I don't need parts for. Looks like valve lash is one of them. So I took my cylinder head off just to, you know, verify a valve lash. I addressed it not too long ago, but it's good to check. And well, one of my things is cracked. I don't know what to call that. The shaft that holds the rocker arm on, one of the things that goes into is cracked. This one's already been replaced years ago or repaired, but this one's cracked now, so. Ugh. So this being cast aluminum, I really have no idea how this is gonna weld. That guy did it, so I guess I can do it. I pretty much just want to melt in that crack anyway, so I'm gonna try it. So that went about as well as I expected it to. Cast aluminum is really nasty stuff, but it's a lot stronger than it was when it was cracked. I'm not gonna grind it down like this one is because I don't want aluminum shavings in my engine. How do I always end up welding everything? All I wanted to do was check my valve lash. I shouldn't need a welder for that. Every single little thing I do, the welder ends up coming out for some reason. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and mess with this fuel cell vent. In order to stop fuel from sloshing out of the cell when it's full, I need to add a loop-de-loop before it goes down. Our loop-de-loop has been installed. Now our fuel won't leak out. Yeah, something that should have been done forever ago is finally done. So when I converted this car to rear-wheel drive, I threw this mount together with scrap I had laying around, and the issue with it is it's a solid mount, and I'm afraid it's gonna crack my transmission case. So I got some regular rubber mounts for a manual E30 I'm gonna adapt to use this with. Okay, this is my new transmission mount. Nice and sturdy. Uses the stock OEM rubber mounts. These are gonna let stuff move around a little bit. Possibly too much. I'm gonna have to get some stiffer ones than these, but. All right, transmission mounted. Nice and sturdy. Doubles as a cross brace too. So I converted this car to manual brakes a few years ago, and the master cylinder I used is too big. The pedal's too hard to press. I got this one, which is a lot smaller. This is only a 5/8 bore. That's a 1-inch bore. But Well, there's no tabs on the end, so I have to make a custom bracket to mount it to these holes here to get it on there. And also the holes on my brake pedal here, this one's too low, this one's too tall. I need one right there. So the whole point of a dual piston master cylinder is if one of your brake lines blow, it can still build pressure, but in order to do that, it has to completely bottom out. So the travel distance on this particular one is 1.33 inches. We've got about like 1.5, so we're chilling there. I'm just gonna weld on some angle iron here, get it lined up, and yeah, that's the plan anyway. Here's what I came up with to mount this master cylinder. So it's basically just 2 pieces of angle iron welded to this 1/4-inch plate, and it's sturdy. I can't budge it, so yeah. I mean, it's not something you would normally see, but I don't really have an issue with that. So my old brake hoses are not doing so hot, so I'm gonna go and put new ones on. So I'm back here replacing rear brake hoses, and BMW decided to put one way back here where you can't get to it for reasons, probably not. And well, that one's rounded off. I've tried heating it up and all the tricks, nothing's working, so I'm gonna have to be more aggressive, I guess. So now I'm replacing this brake line I had to cut. BMW doesn't use double flares like everybody else. They use bubble flares, so I had to buy a brand new tool for that. So alright, shiny new hoses and lines, done. So this is my little setup for bleeding this master cylinder. You're supposed to use banjo bolts, but I got these cool little adapters so I don't have to use banjo bolts, which is always a good thing. So I'm gonna get this thing bench bled. So here's the master cylinder situation. So mounted, brackets done, lines done, reservoir from a Volkswagen Beetle done. So now all that's left to do is bleed it, see if we have any leaks. We will, probably, hopefully not. So that's already feeling pretty solid. I'll go around one more time just to make sure it's completely bled, but that's promising so far. So we've pretty much done the important stuff. Steer knuckles are done. Rack spacers, we're not doing those right now. Alignment, done. Master cylinder's done. Brake hose is done. Trans mount, done. Trans oil checked. Shaft balance not done. Axles done. And diff fluid done. So list is getting shorter. We did a lot of fabrication to a lot of important stuff. So the steering is gonna feel different, the brakes are gonna be different. Oh yeah, she stops. Already feels a lot faster. I don't have to turn the wheel near as much, which would make sense because we changed the geometry. Brake tech. Oh yeah. We stop. Yep. There's the welded diff. Trying to turn around. There we go. We lost something. Only one part's fallen off the car so far. That's pretty good. And it's only been about 5 minutes of driving. So I got this 3-inch muffler on Rock Auto, but in reality it's just a 2-inch muffler with 3-inch pipes welded on the ends. Like, come on, man. So I gotta return this and get a better one. So I'm starting out on the 3-inch exhaust. I also got these cool goggles that I can weld with. I want to try these out. here's the exhaust. I had to crush some of it kind of flat because of ground clearance reasons. It's 3 inches. It's just what I had laying around. Baffled muffler that I hope won't be too loud. It will be. So exhaust pipe is usually aluminized steel or sometimes stainless steel. This is regular old mild steel because I'm cheap, and if I don't paint it, it will immediately rust. So that's fun. So I took it for a little bit of a shakedown. No real complaints, plenty of steering angle. You know, it drives fine, really easy to slide around. I have to keep the RPMs up because of the camshaft it has. I did let it bog down a little bit, but overall, you know, we're almost done. I gotta get more wheels to mount tires on. I gotta have the drive shaft balanced and things like that, but you know, that's really not a big deal. So yeah, subscribe. Ah!